And we're back for one more structure cabling system. The next one mentioned was the DEC Connect system. This was created by the Digital Equipment Corporation. Again, I've been putting logos here. Hopefully you recognize some of these companies as we go along. This was their cabling system, again, to support their computers, their networks, their equipment, that sort of thing. But this one is actually kind of unique. They had a system design where at every desk, if you will, there would be four connections for anything you needed to connect up. So the way their system was set up, it actually supported four different communication technologies in an attempt to provide a global wiring system. So at every desk, if you will, every office desk, if you will, there'd be a voice connection, probably plain old ordinary telephone line, a video connection, probably coax, kind of line, a low speed data. This would have been, again, we're talking 70s, 80s, so this would have been, dial up modem kind of thing, and network, your twisted pair Ethernet connection, if you will. So at every desk, there would be these four ports for any kind of connection you needed. Um, Kind of cool. But I think you also see very quickly that that is a lot of cabling, that's a lot of connections, that's a lot of terminations, so therefore that's a lot of cost. So I think kind of from the get-go, the idea was good, but the reality of implementing it was kind of cumbersome. So I like the idea, but kind of the reality of putting all that in probably kind of doomed it shortly after it got started. But advantage of this, I did not have any kind of mixed media. I had this common faceplate for all connections that I needed. It did use a special connector called an MMJ connector. I'll show you a picture of that in just a second. That is also another piece of the puzzle that kind of, limited its life, if you will. Used primarily in legacy DEC systems. Here is the MMJ connector. As you look at it, it looks like a typical RJ11 or RJ45 connector, but this little clippy tab is off to the side. So, kind of proprietary connector. So therefore, most times when things are developed proprietary, they don't always last because it is proprietary. You need a special crimper, you need a special tool, you need special ports, you need, all that kind of snowballs. And that doesn't always last. When something like that comes along, it doesn't always last. There are some, exceptions to the rule, but a lot of times that does not last. Here's your DEC Connect. Here'd be ports on things. Actually, can you see part of the company logo there? Here's your port. There's that clippy tab off to the side. Here's another port on a piece of equipment. There's the clippy tab off to the side. That makes it a little difficult. And just as a comparison, here's your typical RJ45 with the clippy tab in the middle. RJ11 typical phone line clippy tab in the middle. RJ12 for larger phone networks where you have multiple lines, clippy tab in the middle. Here's the MMJ clippy tab off to the side. Again, proprietary. There's not interchangeable with anything else. And here is a couple more, device ports. Here's the MMJ device port with the clippy tab off to the side. Here's our typical RJ45 device port that we have today, clip tab in the middle. So I think over time you can see the more standard port won out. Because again, as we mentioned one of the previous ones, you can actually plug a phone line into an RJ45 port and it will work. In addition to your data line, this does not work like that. I cannot plug an RJ11 in here. That proprietary tab off to the side makes it impossible to do so. And then I put a quick example here of a MMJ crimper on a jack. You can actually see the clippy tab off to the side there a little bit. So the whole idea of the cabling system where you have all these four data connections at every desk is really cool, but the reality of using this proprietary gear over time, I think that's kind of one of the pieces that did not lend itself to longevity in this. Once upon a time, I had a student in class that they said they were buying parts for this system on eBay just to keep it afloat until they could replace it with the 568 system where they worked. So just kind of give you a little idea of, out of all these, the 568 standard is kind of the best of all of these systems merged into one, so therefore it's kind of the most flexible, most adaptable, most usable. But there real quickly is your DEC Connect system.